Hey readers, I was looking at the calendar and realized that Monday is our official first day of winter. So I thought, what better topic to explore than an Arctic desert? That is how the country of Iceland is described. So, besides learning some super cool facts about what it's like up north in Iceland, we are going to focus today on something called technical vocabulary words. And I know that that sounds very fancy, but there are some clues that I came up with how to find what these words might be in a nonfiction text. So oftentimes they are words that are unfamiliar to us or they're uncommon, meaning they don't show up in lots of texts that we read, or they may be very closely related to the topic, and that's why they're vocabulary words that are in that particular nonfiction text, but maybe they don't show up a lot of other texts. So these first two clues are related. The last clue that tells me, alert, alert, this is a technical vocabulary word and we must pause and make sure we understand its meaning, is that it's defined by the author in the text. And this reminded me of when we were learning about um, tackling unknown words from my friend from Khan Academy earlier in the week. And he said that oftentimes when nonfiction authors anticipate that their readers won't understand a technical vocabulary word, they will just go ahead and define it right there in the text. Now, clue to you, that doesn't mean that we can just read it quickly and move on. It means, yeah, they're going to define it and make it easy for you, but we still want to pause and make sure we understand what it means, because the thing to remember about technical vocabulary words are that they are going to be very important for your comprehension of the text. So, I was thinking about, I wonder if there are any technical vocabulary words in some of the expository nonfiction that we explored in our unit. And I actually found one in our gorilla book where the author was describing the different places that gorillas can live. And as you can see, the author knew or anticipated that this was going to be an unfamiliar word for their readers, and so they defined it right away. Let's read. Plants in lowland areas include succulents, plants that can store water inside their cells. So right now I'm thinking, okay, the author defined it right away, definitely a technical vocabulary word. My job from here is to figure out how it relates to my topic. Well, the author is telling me what is special about a lowland area that makes it a good fit for gorillas, and it's that the plants already have water inside of them. That's going to be your job. Once an author defines it, we want to make sure we understand why it's important to the text. So let's get started. What's up, world? Iceland. Learn what everyday life is like on this island nation up north. Imagine you live in Iceland. You wake up just in time for a quick breakfast of skyr, a cheese similar to Greek yogurt. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you thinking this must be a technical vocabulary word because the author defined it right away? If so, you're right. So, what is the importance of this word? Well, it must be a common type of food that families in Iceland eat, mostly for breakfast, it looks like. You pour it over warm havregrater, also known as oatmeal. Whoa, 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 your brain should be saying alert, 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 our second technical vocabulary word. Right here, the author knows we're not going to be familiar with this word, but we definitely will be with oatmeal. What's its importance? It's another food that is native to Iceland. Outside, the winter sky is dark and the sun won't rise until about 11:30 a.m. In the winter, Iceland gets only about 5 hours of sunlight each day. In summer, the sun barely sets and stays out all day on some days. You meet a friend at the local public bath, an outdoor pool filled with hot water. It's fun being surrounded by snow while swimming. Back at home, you and your family share a dinner of plokkfiskar, or fish stew. Friends, technical vocabulary word, something we were going to be unfamiliar with, and the author knew it. Then you all head outside to watch the northern lights. This natural phenomenon fills this night sky with colors like green and purple. Now, here is an interesting word, and the author, besides defining it in the text, another way an author can clue me into a technical vocabulary word is to make it bold, right? Typically, when a word is bold, we can find it in the glossary where there's a definition. Sometimes they tell us how to pronounce it. Other times they might give us the part of speech it is. Because this is an online article, I don't have to flip all the way to the back of the book to find the glossary. However, just like our friend from Khan Academy, I always like to try to figure out what the word is using some of my context clues, and then I can check it using the glossary. So let's see. The northern lights fills the night sky with colors like green and purple. Well, I'm not used to seeing green and purple in the sky, so I'm wondering if phenomenon means maybe something unusual. Let's check it out. An exceptional event, such as a double rainbow. So this is something that definitely makes Iceland special. Keep reading to learn more about Iceland. Yes, please. As you're reading, think about how it compares to your own community. Celebrate. Every year on the Thursday after April 18th, Iceland celebrates the first day of summer. To mark the day, children march in parades, holding flags, play games, and exchange gifts. Well, that sounds fun. Fun and games, ready to ride, equestrian sports are popular in Iceland. The author's cluing me in to yet another technical vocabulary word. Definitely I can click it to access the online glossary, but why don't I use some context clues? I know it's a type of sport, and the next sentence says other favorite sports include soccer, which is called football there, and golf. I know what soccer and golf look like, and that is not what this photo looks like. So I'm wondering if equestrian has something to do with horses, having to do with horseback riding. Map it out. Iceland is mostly an Arctic desert that includes mountains, glaciers, geysers, hot springs, volcanoes, and waterfalls. Mountains. I know what those are. Glaciers. I know what those are. Geysers. I'm not sure what those are. I definitely know it's some type of nature because it's listed with other types of nature, but I'm having trouble figuring out what it means from the text. So, do you remember our lesson on using a dictionary? It's not bolded, so I know that it is not going to be included in the glossary. So to dictionary.com I go. Geyser, a hot spring that intermittently sends up fountain-like jets of water and steam into the air. So it's definitely a type of hot spring. It sounds almost like a hot spring that erupts water intermittently, so infrequently. Back to our article. More than half of the population lives in and around the capital city of Reykjavik. Can you name 2 bodies of water that border Iceland? Use the map. Let's eat. Hot dogs are super popular in Iceland. Icelandic hot dogs are different from the American kind. They're made mostly from lamb with a little pork and beef. Look at this. Check out one of Iceland's many volcanoes. When it erupted 10 years ago, it sent so much ash into the air that planes couldn't fly in the area for days. Creature feature. Iceland is home to more Atlantic puffins than anywhere else in the world. There are 8 million to 10 million of these birds in the country during the spring and summer. This is my favorite little bonus fact in the article. Say hello. In the Icelandic language, you would greet someone in a way that sounds very similar to English. Hello. Try it today, 3rd grade friends. All right, so now that we have some information about how to identify some technical vocabulary words, I just wanted to remind you that if your reading strategies aren't working for you to be able to figure out what a word is, oftentimes expository nonfiction texts will have glossaries. Now, in our Scholastic News, it was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Since it was an online article,
the glossary was embedded in the article so we could just click on the word. But if you're reading a book, a paper book like that you check out from the library, or if you're reading a book on Epic, oftentimes the glossary is found in the back of the book. So that's where you can use that resource. You'll notice too that glossaries are in A, B, C order. So keep that in mind when you're dishing out your glossary knowledge to your family later. Again, last resort, think about what I had to do with the word geyser. If you don't know a word, you can't figure it out from context clues, and it's not in the glossary, don't skip over it. If it's a word that is super uncommon to you, completely unfamiliar, and possibly related to the topic, that means it is a technical vocabulary word and you must know the meaning of it before you move on. Try identifying and defining some of our technical vocabulary words in your next slide on your Pear Deck. Good luck!